What's up, people? If you have been a regular viewer of the show and still have no clue as to what an RPG is, hanap ka ng lubid at bitbitin mo.
Teka lang, Eri, napaka-harsh mo naman ata. Sorry guys ha, kasi medyo close to our hearts ang mga RPG. In fact, this episode, we're gonna be featuring one of the biggest RPG franchises in history.
Yes, coming from the land of the rising sun, it has become the benchmark for all console RPGs since the mid-90s. We are talking about the Final Fantasy franchise.
In our opinion, no other RPG series deserves an episode entirely on it, and in the next 30 minutes, we're going to show you why.
From the very first FF to the latest, and from the worst in the series to the best.
Get set for our Final Fantasy special. MOG TV,
Game on! Only Slash!
Discussed to death for a very long time now, but how could you stop die-hard fans from wanting a Final Fantasy VII remake? I know I can't. 4 years ago, we were given a treat when Square Enix remade the first scene of Final Fantasy VII. It was only made to show the capabilities of the new PlayStation 3, but it started the madness which gripped fans from all over the globe. After years of clamor, Square Enix head honchos finally gave in and decided to issue piecemeal comments to its fans. Final Fantasy VII character designer and game director Tetsuya Nomura said that nobody should expect a Final Fantasy VII remake anytime soon. He also consoled us by saying that Cloud Strife could appear in other Square Enix titles as a guest character. Final Fantasy XIII producer Yoshinori Kitase then went on to say that producing a remake for Final Fantasy VII will take too long, stating that it would take as much as 3 or 4 times longer than the 3.5 years it has taken to put the original Final Fantasy VII together. This is due in part to translating the game into HD, which is the standard for games nowadays. But the silver lining showed itself when Final Fantasy director Motomu Toriyama commented that he would like to remake the title and it would all be possible if they had enough manpower at hand. After Mr. Toriyama issued his comment, Square Enix's president and CEO, Yoichi Wada, then said that Square Enix will explore the possibility of remaking the title, giving each and every FF fan all over the globe more hope. It's a 1 in a million chance, guys, but it's better than none, diba? Kaya we just gotta keep our fingers crossed para makita natin tong remake na to in today's console.
Final Fantasy X? Now that was a PS2 game. And since we're being FF nostalgic right now, we're gonna show you how to get some Celestial weapons. The Celestial weapons are the best armaments in FF10, and they're really difficult to get sometimes. Not only do you need to get the Celestial Mirror to open the treasure chest containing them, you need a sigil and a crest to power it up. It's all worth it though. Tidus's Calibog, for example. This legendary Celtic sword can be acquired by playing through those annoying chocobo races in the Calm Lands. The first 2 are okay, but the other 2, completely different story. Either you can use the other rider as a shield against those pesky birds, or avoid him altogether. Do whichever is more comfortable. If you win all the races, then the guards blocking the path to the northwest will be gone. If you have the Celestial Mirror, that is. The Sun Sigil for the weapon is easy to get, but the Sun Crest requires another go around with the chocobos. Try getting around 15 balloons to earn the best time in the last race. The rest is easy. Waka's World Champion in comparison is fun to get. There's really nothing better than playing a fantasy sport, and Blitzball fits the bill. 5 wins in this minigame earns you the weapon, but it'll take several more to get the Jupiter Sigil to unseal it. It's a random prize and can only be won after obtaining all of Waka's overdrives. If you've got Tidus's Jet Shot, you'll have an easier time. Now, Lulu's Onion Knight is a migraine waiting to happen. The doll itself is somewhat simple to find at the Baj Temple pool. The Venus Sigil, however, requires you to dodge the lightning in the Thunder Plains 200 times. Here's a tip. In the 3-bolt zone, tap X in time with the 4/4 beat of the music. It's slow enough that the game won't notice you're cheating.
Wala nga mga voucher codes para sa Final Fantasy, pero kung naglalaro kayo ng mga paborito nyong mga e-games titles, it's time to open up those accounts and be the first to enter the codes on our weekly voucher scramble. When we return, a brief history on the Final Fantasy franchise and some fantastic fan-made FF videos. That's a lot of Fs. Stay tuned.